Could be on mic check. Yep, here we go. Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. So sorry for not streaming yesterday, but if you saw my post on YouTube and Twitter, yeah, I just wasn't feeling well. I was literally like rolled over in pain. Yeah, like fear of email, you understand. But yeah, I literally couldn't do anything, and I went to bed like super early because it was just driving me nuts. I'm feeling a little better, but not fully. Like up to like playing a game. Let me do one second. There we go. That's better. Not really up to a game for today, so I thought maybe we just sit, we chat, talk. There has been a lot of animes that I've watched, whether new or rewatch. So I thought it'd be cool to hop over and just talk about that for a little bit. And then actually there are some more reactions I wanted to do. There was one character I actually missed that I do have from Weathering Waves, and then they just released the Resonator Showcase and Combat Showcase for one of the new characters that's coming out, Gusta, the red hair sun warrior. Yeah, so I figured we watch that, and then I do have um, game wise, I'm in the new area that's after, dealing with well, it's still in Renacita, but it's still it's like another part of them that's like totally different, have their own thing. And there we met a new character, Lupa. I already did her Resonator showcase, but I didn't do her combat showcase. So I thought maybe I'd just watch that, react to that one too. Kind of get a bit more feel of, her fighting style. And thought we also do Carlina's her battle showcase. Since we already did her like actual Resonator showcase, but and then there were some anime trailers too that I kind of want to react to. One for a show that I actually didn't think they were ever gonna come back and do another season of this. I'll talk about it when I pop it up. And then there's a trailer for the final season of My Hero. There's the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle trailer, which I can't wait to watch that. There was another one that I'll talk about when I get to it, because it looks familiar. I think I might have actually read it like a while back. So if this is the manga I'm thinking that's getting an anime adaptation, that says it's supposed to be coming out the fall of this year, so I'm very interested if it is the one I'm thinking about. Then Motoko Tensei Season 3, that trailer was released, so I thought maybe react to that, because I have caught up on that show too. So I was waiting for whenever we were going to get an update for the next season of that show as well. And then one more last one, which is a favorite show I've actually already watched, was super hyped when they released the movie for it on Netflix like a while back. God, how long ago did they release that Sword of the Wizard King movie? You can definitely tell by the title, I'll be talking about Black Clover. That finally got a release. Got a trailer that was released, saying that season 2 is in the work. They are working on it. I haven't read any of the manga because I was hoping and praying that they were gonna bring back Black Clover. And after God, how many years it's been since they released the final episode of this, I guess they're calling that the first season, that will finally get back into pretty much where they left off anime-wise. So I can't wait. And then, yeah, then we just talk about some other animes that I've either watched or am looking forward to. I did a lot of rewatching. One in particular is a very long anime. I'm sure you guys know it. People compare it to One Piece because it's one of those animes that's in the thousands, has been releasing since like 1994, I believe I've heard. Yes, I'm talking about Detective Conan because there's a lot of news and updates about that anime. If you haven't already know, so I'll talk about that as well. But so no, I think I'll save like the reactions for like towards the end. So this probably won't be like a super long stream, like maybe an hour, hour and a half. We'll see. I say that and then I talk for like maybe two and a half, almost 3 hours. Oh, and there's actually this other thing I wanted to react to. It's really been growing around. Like, I've seen other people, like, react to it. So I wanted to, like, fully see it myself instead of, like, little clips and bits here. 'Cause this honestly looks freaking hilarious from what I've been seeing, so. But, I guess I'll just talk about the Detective Conan. Let me see if I can pull up. As you know, Detective Conan, or if you haven't, yeah, Detective Conan is a very old anime that's been freaking, well, it says here since 1996 with 29 seasons. Good God. Shows has been going on since 19, well, I think like the manga's been releasing since 1994, but the anime's been releasing since 1996. Which I guess makes sense because I think that's, like, there's also a thing with this is like every year, except for 1 year because of COVID, they released a movie for the series. And they're at like 28, I believe, with them releasing the dub for like the latest, not the latest one, the latest one that has to do with like the Black organization being a part of that movie. They released the dub for that. That that they I think they released it at a convention that's currently out in like anime, um, like in New York, I think. But yeah, I honestly was started rewatching it because one, apparently there was like a working with the studio that now has this like TMS Entertainment. They've been doing this whole thing with the series. One, it got a new dub, which at that point you're like, how many dubs does this anime have? Um, there's the old dub that I not really grew up watching with, but watched back in the day, like back when I was in school when I first got got into the series. That's the old Funimation dub. They did like the first like 120 something episodes, and did like the first 6 movies. After that, for many years, there weren't any dubs. So after that, you pretty much had to watch the series subbed, which I had no problem with. I actually was really interested in, continuing the story from there. Sometimes I would still go back and rewatch watch the English dub episodes that they had released, but I would, continue on. I actually, I'm not sure if I talked about this, but there was one summer when I made a kind of like a promise to myself and kind of like a bet to see if I could get through all of the Detective Conan movies that were out at the time. And at that point, oh God, how many movies had been out at that point? I mean, because since then, there's been like 6 or 7 that's been released since then. Hold on, let me pull up. Where is it? Detective Conan. Because right now they're on. Actually, there's another movie, 28, that I actually haven't watched yet. But I've watched up to 27. So that's like the last movie I've watched. I want to say, I think 17 was the last, no, yeah, 17 at that time when I made like, oh, that summer when I was like, I'm gonna watch all the Detective Conan movies that are currently out. I think 17 was like the last movie that was out at the time. So at that point, they've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've had 10 movies since then, with actually 11 because there's one more that I haven't watched yet. But yeah, that summer I watched all the movies, so I rewatched all the first 6 in the old Funimation dub, and then I just continued on watching the rest of them in subbed. Actually, I think it might be funny. Maybe I go one day and like rank all of the Detective Conan movies from which one I thought was like the more entertaining, which one I had the most fun watching. That'd be interesting to do, or maybe like go through each movie separately, and kind of like talk about the premise and what I thought about it. That'd be kind of interesting. I've seen other people do it. Other fans of Detective Conan, kind of going through each of the movies, giving a plot and kind of giving their own opinion on what they thought of that particular movie. But yeah. So and then it wasn't until they got to movie 19 where who has the licensing now started releasing the movies from that point, in the new dub. So that was like kind of like a new awakening for me for getting into Detective Conan, because at that point, like I said, it was nothing dub of Detective Conan. So when I saw that they were starting to release some of the later movies in dub, I was like, oh, cool. Kind of weird, they kind of just randomly started at 19 instead of picking up at 7. So it's kind of like a weird thing. So like you can kind of find the dub for the first 6 movies, then 7 through 18 don't have any dubs, and then 19 to at least up to 26 now have a dub. So you can watch it either or. But yeah, 19 I believe was the first movie that the new licensing people got the for the movie, and then started doing those movies in dub. So so that kind of like reunited me into getting into Detective Conan again, and that kind of made me want to go back and start rewatching the show too. And recently, what got me back into the show, kind of like a third time, is one with the 28th movie that's been out, but I haven't watched it yet. Um, is that they were doing this thing, Netflix and Crunchyroll, where they were pretty much just a whole new team of people doing a dub of the anime, which is kind of funny because actually didn't say this. In the original dub, they changed everyone's name, to localize it. So, Conan is still Conan Nagatawa, but Shinichi Kudo was Jimmy Kudo. Ron Mori was Rachel Moore. Uh, Kokugo Mori was, I believe his name was Richard Moore in the English. Sonoko Suzuki was Serena Sebastian, I believe. That was her English name. Um, Hattori was. Oh, what? No. Harley Hartwell. I think that was his name in the English. Uh, Kazuha was Kirsten or something like that. It's really weird. Like, and then, like the detective boys, Ayumi was Amy, Genta was, I forget what his English name was. Mitsuhiko was, I can't remember the kid's name. I know I was Vay Valentine or something like that. Which is funny because we only get her that English name in like the last 2 movies of the English dub, because she hadn't really made it, which is funny because in the anime at that point she hadn't made her debut wasn't in there yet. It's funny because actually where the original dub ended, like a few more episodes, and they would have got introduced to I. So it's kind of funny, but at that point they did the dub for movie 5 and 6, and she was in it, so they kind of had to give her like a separate name, which was like I no Vay. I can't remember. It's been a minute. I'm so used to calling her by her Japanese name, so I kind of can't remember her English name. And another thing, the good thing about this dub, for the few episodes that they did, they kept their names. So Shinichi is still Shinichi, Ron is Ron, so they didn't localize, which is kind of because back in the day they would like localize anime names to make it more, I guess, to get more English listeners into it. It's the same thing they did with like Sailor Moon, the 90s. What they did with like Tokyo Mew Mew, when they changed it to Mew Mew Power. What other animes? Yu-Gi-Oh, which is funny because people recognize the names of the characters by their English than their Japanese. So people know. I actually don't remember what Teia's Japanese name is. I'm so used to calling her Teiya. Joey is Joey, Tristan is Tristan. I think Kaiba is still the same. I think the same with like Mokuba. I think he's still the same. But like they changed like their names and some other people. I think like Pegasus, Maximilian Pegasus, he's still the same in the Japanese. So there's like some names they changed, but not all of them. But I know Sailor Moon was like famous for that too. Usagi was Serena, Ami was Amy. And funny enough, it never occurred to me until years later that Ray was still Ray. I think they just kind of spelt it differently. Makoto was Mina? I think her English name was in the 90s. No, Lita. Lita, that was her name. Sailor Jupiter. Her English name was Lita. Mina was Venus, or what's her Japanese name? Minako. There we go. I was like, that's on the tip of my tongue. Something with an M. Minako. So that was their English names, and then Mamoru was Darien, in the 90s. So it's kind of like that where they changed the names, but with this new dub, especially after they, redubbed Sailor Moon, especially in like Crystal, and then they redubbed the 90s, they kept their Japanese names. 'Cause at this point, everyone's used to like Japanese names in anime, so changing it is kind of weird. People don't do that anymore. So that's the thing with this new dub. Everyone's called by their original names. But the thing is, funny enough, they didn't do it like they didn't do it chrono. What's the word? Sorry, I have all these air bubbles. But basically, they picked certain episodes that they were gonna do this dub for. And a lot of them are based kind of around like the main premise of Detective Conan, if you kind of don't already know. Not really spoilers, because this really basically happens in like episode 1. So basically, we start this story off with a kid, sweet Shinichi Kudo. He is this famous high school detective. He goes around helping the police solve cases that they have problems with. Um, which is pretty funny because even though he's famous for that, he's also famously known for his like really rich and successful parents. His dad is like a world-renowned mystery novelist, and his mother was like, well, wasn't. She was a super famous actress that retired young when she got married and had Shinichi. So he's also kind of like connected to that. Like, oh, your dad's this, or oh my God, you're this lady's son. But he's made a name for himself as a detective. Growing up, reading all his dad's mystery novels, all other mystery novels. He is a huge Sherlock Holmes fan, pretty much like a fanatic. That's something Ron like teases him for. I mean, because he'll just go on and on talking about cases that Sherlock Holmes solved, or scenarios, or books and moments. Like that's if he could, that's all he would talk about. But one night when him and Ron are at an amusement park, and funny enough, he ends up solving a murder that happens there. He catches these two guys that were there earlier that he kind of caught bad vibes for, which if you see them in the anime, you immediately, especially the tall, long one with the long hair. Oh yeah, hell no. From jump, as soon as you saw that guy, you knew, oh yeah, this man is dangerous. He's definitely got bodies on him. But he catches them doing this deal. Well, he catches one of them. But he's so engrossed in what's going down, he doesn't notice one of them, the other one sneaking up behind him, knocking him out. And they were, of course, gonna kill him because he saw what they were doing. But instead of just, putting a bullet in his head, they were like, no, that would leave evidence. It would trace kind of, I mean, they're kind of known throughout the series of being very elusive, of cleaning up their trail and not having certain not having murders connected to them. So, but they were like, oh, we actually have this new drug that our organization was forming. Let's test it out on. It's not supposed to leave like no trail, no nothing. Hello, good morning. Well, actually, it's like 12 a.m. to me, so it's like nighttime. But good morning. I'm just talking. One of the things I'm talking about is the new dub for Detective Conan. So I'm kind of giving a bit of a synopsis about that, and kind of like why they picked a few episodes to do this new dub for. So what was I saying? Oh, right. So they decided, instead of just straight up killing him with like a gun or something, they're like, oh, let's test out this new drug that our organization built. It's supposed to leave like no trace in like the body or anything, so they wouldn't really know what killed him, and it wouldn't trace back to them. So they, force feed it down his throat, and they leave. Don't really stick around to see what happens. They assume that he is just dead. Conan, well, not Conan, not yet. Shinichi, is feeling the effect of the poison. but he can't move, so he is like, of course, freaking out. He's like, oh my god, am I really gonna die? This is how it ends for me. Passes out, but fortunately he wakes up, so he's like, oh good, whatever they gave me didn't kill me like they thought. But instead, when he's found by some like guards, and cause he's still at the amusement park, it's like a secluded place of the amusement park. He, the guards are seeing him and they're like, "Oh my God, little boy, are you okay? What happened to you?" And of course, he's like, "Little boy, what do you mean?" Because he's a high schooler. He's supposed to be like 16, 17 at this point. So he's like, "What are you talking?" Well, in his mind, he's like, "What are they talking about? Why are they treating me like I'm a little kid?" Um, that's when he notices that his clothes are like really heavy and like loose on him, and he's like, what is going on? And that's when he notices the drug that they gave him didn't kill him, and instead it shrunk him to his body from like 10 years ago, from when he's around like 5 or 6 or like 7, like around that age, basically like elementary school age. So he is like, what in the world did they give me? So when he goes to his next door neighbor, Dr. Agasa, they, talk and discuss what happened. And he's like, listen, you cannot tell anyone about this. If those men find out that, that drug that they gave you that was supposed to kill you didn't kill you, they will come back to finish the job. And if they, connect the dots that anyone else knows that this happened to you, their lives are in danger as well. Which is funny enough because Ron then pops up looking for Shinichi because at this point he ditched her at the amusement park, so she of course is like freaking out, like, hey, have you heard from him? He like left me at the park and didn't say anything. Runs into Shinichi shrunk, but he disguises himself, put on glasses so Ron wouldn't recognize him, because one, they pretty much grew up together, so she would recognize him even in his small form right away. But it's pretty funny when he has his glasses on, he looks different, which I guess makes sense when kids, look different once they grow older, and then if they wore glasses back then or not. So he didn't, so the glasses kind of give that whole illusion that, he might look similar to Shinichi, but not really. So when Ron, starts pressing for a name, he has to think on the slide of not giving his real name, and that's where Conan and Agawa comes in. So he decides that the best way to get information about the people that poisoned him and possibly find the cure is to stay with Ron and her dad, who is a private detective. But in the story, you find out that Kogoro isn't really made to be a detective. He was a former police officer, but definitely has fallen off over the years. So with the help of Conan and the gadgets that Dr. Agasa had made him, like a bow tie that he can imitate people's voices with, was it? I forget the full title. Basically, it's a watch that he can then pull out and shoot like a paralyzing tranquilizer like dart. He uses that to knock out Kogoro, and they solve cases like that pretty much. With Conan pretty much really solving the cases, getting the clues, and pretty much using Kogoro as the front man of solving the cases. Hoping that if he gets big enough, it might draw the attention of the people in the organization, which eventually it does. And that's kind of what these episodes that Netflix and Crunchyroll kind of set up and did. They're really based heavily with Conan's interaction with the quote-unquote black organization, which they are later called down in the show. So I forget what the first episode was. I know they did like 1 and 2 so that people can get like a full feel of the anime. Hold on, let me pull it up. But then I think it like jumps to like 1 something after the words. Where is it? Detective Conan. Yeah. So basically they dubbed it under Conan versus the Black Organization. Actually, let me see if I can pull this up. Wrong one. There we go. Here, I'll pull it up here. So this is on Crunchyroll. So basically, they dubbed it under Conan versus the Black Organization, and this is like major plot points in the show at this point. Well, in the very beginning of him interacting with the black organization. So the first two are kind of more like introductions, like the first real interaction he had that caused him to shrink. Second episode's kind of will get people into a feel of how the show will go on from that point. Then it immediately jumps over to 128, which is a really big major point in the anime, which actually I found out that this actually happened very early on in the manga, but the anime did something different. They did a case kind of similar, but it wasn't black organization related at all. Instead it had like lookalikes, trying to like throw Conan off the trail of, oh, he thought maybe this was related to them, but it wasn't. And then this one pops up 100 and something episodes later, pretty similar to the same one, and this one is connected to the black organization. Doesn't really have a happy ending. It's very tragic what happens at the end, and what happens immediately falls into the next episode of 129. That's where we get introduced to her connection to some of the people in the previous episode, and kind of like what her staple in the show would be from this point. I don't want to reveal anything unless people want to watch it themselves, but she does have a very huge role in not just the black organization themselves, because one, you find out there's like a reason why they're like hunting her down specifically, and weirdly enough, one of the like main antagonists that is the one that fed Conan the poison in the beginning is like weirdly obsessed with her for some reason, and not like it's like one of the weird obsessions where he like, I don't know, this is my interpretation of it. It's like he has feelings for her, but really warped, creepy feelings. Like I really wish they kind of went more into depth on like what their interaction was during the organization, because he seems like really drawn to back then, like he's like really drawn to her, and then like, you know, finding out that, you know, what happens, and he's like relentless in hunting her down. I mean, that's kind of their job, you know. If they go after traitors, they you know, they are, you know, trained to pretty much go down and hunt them, you know, to hopefully they don't, you know, spill the secrets of the organization and all that. But how Jin is like really obsessed with hunting her down, and when he kind of does later on in the series, and you know, she's managed to escape with the help of Conan, he like immediately gets in his head, oh, she had help, she must have seduced some guy, and he's like helping her. And I don't know, it's like it really rubbed him the wrong way that she might have like this secret lover that's helping her out. So, and he's like, oh, and like it like feels him even more to want to hunt her down, and not just take care of her, but like, as he'll point out, take care of this secret boyfriend that's obsessed with her. And it's like, dude, what is your deal? Like, we see him throughout the series hunting down like quote unquote other traitors too, but I don't know, there's something about the connection or whatever interaction they had together that he is like weirdly obsessed with her. And it's funny because I read somewhere that, you know, people pick it up too. They pick up like the weird obsession he has with her, and like why he's so like, with anything that even like remotely relates to her, like his like kind of logic, not really 100%, but a lot of his like critical thinking kind of goes out the window, because there was like a major point where he could have found out like really big information about her that could have tracked her down, and of course would have been a big trouble for us in the, well, you know, for the gang. But he was like so, like, I guess distraught that she had gotten away, that he was just like, that he let that information slip by him, to the point that, you know, to this day he still doesn't know. He just believes that she got away with help, and it's like, huh. And he apprehends multiple times. It's crazy. You're watching Check the Code. I am actually, because of the new dub that they released out with the Black Organization episodes. Not all of them, but like a good core portion of them. Um, so yeah, it did 28, then 129, then it jumps to 176 and 177 to 178. That's those three episodes are really really good. I like rewatched them a lot when they didn't have a dub for them, because that was like a really major or yeah, the dub. I mean, I've watched sub like 100 times before this dub came out. Like, this dub is really new. Like, especially like the last few episodes. Because I think these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like, these first 9 episodes came out like around July when they first did this. And because it was such a huge hit, they released these last few episodes in the new dub too, with more Black Organization connections, which it's just interesting, and it's like kind of meant me getting back into the story. I like sub better, which is funny. Funny enough, I liked the Funimation dub, but then when I didn't have the dub afterwards, I got it. Actually, I do have a way of watching it for free, but I don't want to say that here. You know how these people are. But the thing is with, oh no, dub has been out for years. Like the old dub, yeah. But I have a way of watching the sub too. But the only way to watch this new dub is either with a Crunchyroll account or if you have Netflix. So then it jumps to like 230 and 231. And then these are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 episodes they just released like last week, I believe. They were like, oh, like pretty much like the good review that the first 8 episodes got, dub wise. They were like, hey, we're gonna do this again and we're gonna release some more episodes. And it's funny because I saw people do videos of kind of guessing, oh, if it. Oh, it doesn't matter. Crunchyroll doesn't own. No, they don't. But it's weird that only Crunchyroll and Netflix have these dubs, the new dub that they released. It's only those 2 platforms. Hulu doesn't have it. Anything else, and any other quote unquote website doesn't have it. If you do, you'll only get like the sub. They don't have the new dub up, or no one's uploaded the new dub. Yeah, it's only Crunchyroll or Netflix have this new dub. But I did a free 7-day trial just so I can get this, just so I can watch them. I literally watched like the whole day I did it, cause I was like, I want to see what this new dub is about, cause people were really hyping it up, especially for people who were fans of the Funimation dub. They're like, oh wow, this is kind of giving them reminiscence of what the old dub was like. So I was like. And the fact that like a lot of people were saying that, I was like, I gotta check this out. I gotta check out this dub and see what it's about. And so I was like, you know what? I'll do a free trial. See what these first. Cause the first, actually, I don't know if they're still up, but YouTube, the TMS Entertainment had the first 2 episodes of the new dub up on their YouTube channel. I don't know if they're still up or they got rid of it, but you could watch like the first 2 episodes of the new dub. And then the others you had to get you had to have a Crunchyroll account or a Netflix account to watch the other episodes. And then last week they released these last 5 episodes. And I'm just like, woo. Like I definitely say, for someone who watched the old dub, I actually really did kind of enjoy this dub. It is kind of almost a little similar to what the old dub was kind of like. So I do kind of get where old fans of the dub are like, oh, this is kind of reminiscent of how the old dub was, but they're not using their old English names, they're calling them by their original names, but it does kind of have that feel of it. So I'm like, okay, I like this. Ugh. So I do hope that they do more episodes like this. I mean, in anything, I would love if they just redid the whole series again, or even if they don't want to do the whole series over again dub, maybe just start back from where the original dub ended, like 120 something, and pick it up from there. I know there was like another dub that went out for like episode like 900 to like 1,000 something. I can't remember. It was like a certain season that they decided to release a dub. Um, that I did catch on a different website, which wasn't bad, but I would definitely say out of that dub and this new dub that they did, I think I like this one a little bit better. I don't know, the other one didn't like, it felt more like I was like the people were just reading the lines. A lot of them it didn't feel like they had like a lot of passion doing certain like scenes or certain events. So I definitely would prefer this new dub over it. Um, and they aren't really sure if they're gonna use this new cast to be doing the dubs of the movies, because turns out there's actually this dub is different from the dubs that's been doing the movies the last couple of years. So people are like, okay, like I don't know if they haven't like 100% confirmed it, but they're like maybe they'll do episodes with this dub, and the dub that's been doing the movies will just stick doing the movies, which would be kind of interesting. You know, kind of having two different dubs for two different versions of Detective Conan. You'll have the anime dub, and then you'll have like the movie dub, which I don't think any other anime has ever like done that back to back. Like the only time they ever do that is when they are like redoing a dub and they do the whole thing over again, kind of like what they did with well, no, I was gonna say Fruits Basket, but Fruits Basket pretty much got everyone back from the original dub. What's... Oh, pardon me. I just had it. What was the... Oh, Ronnie Kenshin, duh. That's what it was. That, you know, when they did that, they did redo the dub of that. Did you watch One-Eyed Flashback? Is that the new movie? If that's the new movie, no. I have not watched that yet. I might want to watch it, but I can't find it. It looks so cool from the few trailers I saw back when they were talking about it. I've only been up to the 27th movie, which is like another Detective Conan and a Phantom Thief Kid kind of blend movies. I don't know, those are really funny. And then that one also has a Hattori. He's in that too. That movie's so funny because in that one, you know, they're trying to solve this case, and the whole time Hattori's trying to figure out a way to confess his feelings to Kazuha, but do it in a way that's grander from how Shinichi confessed his feelings to Ron. It's so cute kind of see him trying to find like this really romantic place to confess his feelings, and if it's gonna be like more memorable than being confessed to with like the Big Ben behind you or in front of you, like it was for Ron. It was released. I went to Japan to just watch that on... Oh, okay, so you went straight to Japan to watch that. I wish I could do that. Like when the Demon Slayer movie came out, I was like, man, if I had if I had the money to just go over and watch it over in Japan, I would. So, you know, us having to wait over here to watch it, but I am looking forward to that. I can't wait to watch the Demon Slayer movie. I'm doing everything in my power to make sure I don't get spoiled on that movie, because you know it's funny. I saw a lot of tweets where people were getting like arrested and getting fined for leaking the movie out. Like people were getting charged like crazy amounts for, you know, been found out of, you know, recording the movie and posting it online. Like they are really serious about not having spoilers, you know, spoiled for the movie. They don't want people ruining it for them, so ruining it for other people, which I totally get. Cause like no, like okay, yeah, maybe you went and watched it. That don't mean you gotta come back and then spoil for everyone else. Yeah, well, I heard it's 12th, but I think some places are releasing it like a day before. But I can't wait. Well, more of me and my girl was on vacation and watched that movie. Oh, okay. That's cool. I do want to take a trip to Japan one year. I do. I just gotta pick a year, save, and, you know, get everything in order so I can go. That's like one of my lifelong dreams of visiting Japan one day. But uh, but yeah, that with this new dub, this kind of got me re-watching Detective Conan. I've actually gone and like because one, the series is like 1,000 something episodes long now. Because good goodness, like what? I think they just released a new episode a couple of days ago. I think they're like a 1,000 something. Let me see if I can see what pops up. New. Come on. Where is it? I've rewatched One Piece and Detective Conan several times now. I haven't rewatched. I don't know. It's weird. I could go back and rewatch like Detective Conan episodes, but I could never get into rewatching like One Piece. Yeah, it's like 1,170 something. Which is like, the fact that this show is still going on after all these years with episodes, it's crazy. Yep. 1,172. The reason he became a butler, part 2. That is crazy. And the fact that they're still going on to this day, it's wild. But yep, that's pretty much what's been going on. Well, that wise. And then I've pretty much mostly caught up with the movies, except for that last one. So I've watched the 27th movie, but I haven't watched the 28th one. Let's see. Yeah, I did want to talk about some other animes I've been watching. Oh, I've been watching the new Panty and Stocking. It has gotten me a while to get used to the new voices, because that was one of the things I was kind of really upset that, you know, they didn't get the original cast to come back to do Panty and Stocking. But I gotta say, I actually think the new voices are doing pretty good of portraying, you know, Panty and Stocking in the way that we know. So I've been catch up with that. What was your most favorite movie? You know, it's funny. I talked about that too earlier. I was like, you know what? It'd be fun if I did like a video series on like my YouTube or something. Cause I've seen other people do it, of me going through like each Detective Conan movie and like ranking them or something. I think that'd be really interesting, especially since I've kind of like caught up with all the movies. But, my favorite one. That's kind of hard because a lot of them are really good. What is it? Hold on, I'm going through all the movies. Jolly Roger was peak. That was movie 11? Oh, that's the pirate one. That one was... Oh, that one was good. I'm trying to think. What the heck? What just happened? Oh, 14 was good too. 14 was really good. I like that one. But I would say... I really like movie 5. Countdown to Heaven. I remember rewatching that one a lot. Especially with the old dub. I would rewatch that one a lot. I really liked movie 5. Both movies of Lupin the Third versus Detective Conan was peak as well. Actually, I haven't watched that. I think I have it saved, but I haven't watched it yet. And I've heard they're pretty good too. I need to watch it. I would say out of all the movies, I'd definitely say movie 5 was definitely like my top favorite. I loved movie 5. What other ones? I'm trying to think. Because movie 1 was good, like a good starter. Movie 2 was really good too. Movie 3 was really interesting as well. Ooh, I love movie 4. Capturing Her Eyes, I love movie 4. Movie 4, movie 5. Uh, I said I do like movie 6 too, especially more of the fact, that's kind of more, them being thrown into, like, the world of Sherlock Holmes in that movie, so I did like that. The Quarter of Silence. Quarter? Oh, 15. Which... Oh, no, that one's good too. That one's really good too. I rewatched that one recently when I was going through the movies again. And I was like, dang, I actually really like this one. I forgot I liked this movie. No, 15 is good too. 15 is really good. I like 15, yeah. Ooh, I liked 18. 18 was interesting as well. Yeah, 18. Sniper from they call it like 3 different names. Um, but the Sniper from Another Dimension, that one's good too. I love that one. I rewatched that one like last week, and I was like, oh wow, I actually really like this one. This one's good too. 14, not 14, 19 was okay. 20 was interesting. 20, The Darkest Nightmare, that one was interesting, especially when we got introduced to that black organization character. And it's funny enough because someone kind of joked about this, but they say it a lot that whenever they do these black organization movies that introduce a new agent from the organization, they immediately get like killed off at the end of the movie, which is totally true. Because she was so cool and so badass, and when you found out like who she was and her ranking, it was like, what? Like, yo, this is huge. If we can somehow like, can kind of like use her, we could get like some major information about the organization if she's that high up. And what ends up happening at the end, it's like, what? So it's like, did all that introduce this badass character who's that high ranked in the organization, and that's what happens. But it's like, whatever. Sunflower of the Infernal is just number 1 for me. Oh, yes, Fist of the Blue Sapphire, movie 23. I really like that one too. And I like, cause I think at that point in the movie, I don't think it's really. I think at that no, I think like further on, it's already stated at that point that Shinichi and Ron are like officially dating. But I like in the movie how Kid is pretending to be Shinichi, and that pool scene of him and Ron gets me every time. He gets there, he's pretending to be Shinichi, like, oh, sorry I was late, and she's like, oh my god, look at this view, it's so romantic, right? She leans in, holds his hand. Of course, Kaido Kid's freaking out. He's like, whoa, what is she doing? And she's like, come on now, no need to freak out. I mean, like, we're dating, come on. And he's like, oh yeah, of course. And he immediately turns to Conan, and he's like, wait, you, like, in his mind, wait, you are? And Conan's just in the back freaking out, being like, oh, I hate that she's like, all over him, thinking it's me, but it's not me. But I can't say anything because if I do, I'm trapped here in this country and I can't get home. So he has to pretty much see his girlfriend hanging all over another guy that's pretending to be him, and it's driving him nuts. It's so funny. I love that moment so much. And then the romance between Sonoko and Makoto, I don't know, they're so cute. I love them so much. I really love the episodes in the anime where she introduces him to her parents. The dad, of course, is like all for it, especially he's like this well-known martial artist. The mom, of course, is not happy, that instead of falling for like a son of a conglomerate of some rich family, she's fallen for this quote-unquote traveling what she called him, I forget, but she like, the fact that he's a martial artist is going around traveling and training. She's like, that's not like, how's that gonna represent us, as the family, since at that point I think like she has no sister, but she married into like a different family, So now she's like the main heir of their family. So they're like, well, the mom is more like, oh, you need someone who's gonna be a good image of the for the family. And she's like, I am not doing that. If I have to give up my position as heir, I will do that. I'm not gonna just marry someone just because of that. And that whole sequence of, and then Kid gets introduced and he sees her fawning over Kid. It's so funny. Scarlet Bullet's amazing as well. Ooh, yeah. And they actually just released the movie on the TMS Entertainment, because it's also doing like some movie watch party. Like every week they release like a new Detective Conan movie on their YouTube channel, and I think that was like the latest one they just released. So I kind of, the fact that it's on YouTube, I kind of just like rewatched it again, which is so funny. Um, but yeah, Blue Fist of the Blue Sapphire is really good. Bullet is really good too, which people say it's okay. I actually really enjoyed it, especially since we kind of get more into the Akai family and how each of them are doing certain things and trying to like keep the others from. It's so crazy. Movie 5, Bride of Halloween. That was actually pretty interesting too. I did enjoy that one. Um, Though I gotta say, Strategy Above the Deep, Capture in Her Eyes, and Phantom of Baker Street are just fire. Okay, Strategy Above the Deep. Which one is that? That's movie 9. Which one was this one? Oh, that one was good too. Yeah. So that one, Capture in Her Eyes, and Phantom of Baker Street. Yeah. I think I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make like a. I'm gonna go through like each movie, and I'm gonna like rank them. It's gonna be hard because there's so many I really liked. Some were okay, and some of them had like good moments, but overall some were just okay. Um, like 21, the Crimson Love Letter. I thought I liked it, but actually since I've like rewatched it, I don't know. I don't hate it. It's not like the worst Detective Conan movie, but I guess I kind of like the whole aspect of, it's not really focused more on Conan and everyone else. It's more focused on Hattori and Kazuha and their whatever is going on with them, and the fact that now there's a new girl who gets introduced who has the hot for Heiji, and that gets kind of like a fire lit under Kazuha because she's like, at this point, she kind of never really had, like, competition for Heiji's attention and affection. And when it comes to this point, we know he has feelings for her and has for pretty much, like, years. Which is funny because him and Shinichi have pretty much been in love with the girls that they have for years. Especially, like, in the anime, there's, like, there's, like, 2 or 3 episodes about when Shinichi and Ron met for the first time in like preschool, and you could totally tell from like jump that he fell for her hard when they were little, and it's just been growing. And Ron, I think like her feelings for Shinichi grew a bit more over time, but I mean, you could definitely tell at this point that they've had feelings for each other since they were practically kids. And then what movie was it that I think it was Seven. Seven, that movie was okay. Wasn't definitely one of my best. But I do like that it confirmed that Heiji had like this first crush, this first love, but he never knew who she was. And then towards the end, it's revealed that the girl was Kazuha, but he just didn't recognize her because she was like all dressed up and whatnot. So he thought it was just another random girl. So when he finds out that pretty much like the dream girl he's been looking for all this time has been right beside him all this time, it's really cute. I like that aspect of that movie. I'm going through each movie. Magician of the Silver Sky, movie 8. That one was okay. Requiem of Detectives, movie 10. That one was okay too. That had good mood. I think we talked about 11. Full Score of Fear. That one was interesting. 13 Raven Chaser. I don't know. I feel like I need to rewatch that one. I've been having like mixed feelings about it. I need to rewatch that one. 14 is good. Lost Ship in the Sky. Quarter of Silence, that's good. The 11th Striker. I don't know. I couldn't really get into this movie that much. I think if maybe you're a huge soccer fan or a football fan, depending on how you say it, I think you'll be really into that movie. I couldn't really get into movie 16. 17 was good too. And then 18, 19, 20, 21 was okay. 22 was interesting. Zero the Enforcer, that was good. Fist of the Blue Sapphire, Scarlet Bullet, Bride of Halloween, that one was interesting. And then Black Iron Submarine, that was a good movie. I really did enjoy this one too. The twists and turns and how the Black organization was getting involved, how I was in danger again. It was just, that was good. And then 27 was good too. I really want to see 28. It's, seems so cool. I haven't watched it, so I don't know. But as soon as I do, I'll give an update on that. I definitely want to see that one. What's next? Oh, I was talking about, Panty and Stocking. The new, anime for that. I've been watching that. That's, like, I've been watching the new dub. When I said, the cast, I meant, like, the dub. I think the Japanese for Panty and Stocking is the original from the first, anime. But I do know the English dub has, like, a brand new cast. It's all new people. But I could definitely say the new dub is actually pretty good. I would say it's pretty similar to how the old dub was, so I definitely enjoyed that. This is an older anime, but I never really watched because one, it was one of those isekai animes. I do try to give the ones where, like, instead of like, oh, it's a guy who gets transported into like his favorite game or his favorite book, or well, not really books. Guys mostly get, when they get isekai in these animes, it's mostly from like a game they've played or just randomly gets transported into a new world. But this, I do try to get the ones where it's like, instead of a guy, it's a girl who gets transported to a new world, or she gets transported into a book, maybe a book series she was reading, or a game she was really into. And that's what this one is. It's called Kuma Bear. Kuma 3 times Bear. There's 2 seasons, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's not like peak anime by any means. Like I said, it's your typical isekai anime. Character gets transported to the world, ends up being super OP. But the funny enough thing is with this, the main character, she has to be in this bear outfit because that's pretty much where she gets her mega powers from. So she's like she's in this world dressed like this bear. Of course, people give her like crazy looks. They're like, what is going on? Why is this girl in this bear outfit? And it really like underestimates her because of how weird dressed she is. But by the end of like pretty much like the first season, everyone's so used to it because she's so overpowered, because she's doing all these things to help improve like the kingdom she's in, and helping people in need and whatnot. It's really cool. I liked it. So I definitely enjoyed watching both seasons of Kuma Bear. I gotta remember it's like 3 Kumas and then Bear. What else have I been watching? I need to get back into this guy. Stopped because I watched season 1. I don't know. I watched season 1 all in one go and I really enjoyed it. But I don't know. I've been like stopping when watching season 2 of this. It's I've been killing slimes for 300 years and maxed out my level. That's season 2 finally came out, and I don't know. It feels a little. I think it's the same from season 1. Maybe it's because it's been such a huge gap between season 1 and season 2 that I've kind of fell off a little bit. I mean, I stopped at like episode 8, so I'm more like 4 episodes away from the end. I don't know, 'cause I really enjoyed season 1, but then I can't really get behind season 2 that much, which is weird. But it's something they do that, especially with like animes like this, and there's such a huge gap between season 1 and season 2, so I'm gonna continue it. I'm gonna finish it and like maybe start from the beginning and really give it like a chance to rewatch it. So besides that, I've been rewatching Case Closed or Detective Conan. Been rewatching the movies. What other stuff have I been watching? I've really just been rewatching Detective Conan and the movies, really. Ooh, that's another thing. I've been trying to get into the new season of Rent a Girlfriend. One, I think they changed the... Well, no, not everyone. But I think like the two main characters, Chizuru and Kazuya, their English voices are different now. Like, whoever did the original English for them for the first, like, what, 3 seasons, because this is season 4, their voices are different. And it's funny because last season, the first episode did that. Like, their voices were different. But then it went to whoever did their original voices. But I don't know if they recast it or the original voice actors couldn't do it. So they had to get new people. It's been throwing me off. It really has. I mean, I haven't really caught up much to Rent a Girlfriend. Especially with the whole meme it's been blowing up with, you know. That it's been like a good couple of 100 chapters. And they still haven't gotten together. If anything, she's like rejected him again. I think like says she has feelings for him, but isn't ready for like a full-on relationship or something like that. And it's been blowing people's minds. You know, this series has been going on for years, and at this point they still aren't a official couple. So I know that's been throwing people off. I do hope this gets to season 3. Uzaki-chan wants to hang out. I actually really enjoyed this. I've been picking up the manga to pick up where the anime is. Woo, let me tell you, there's so much like, things that's happened. Like, kind of where the second season ends and what's been going on in the manga. Like, Uzaki and... God, what's the guy's name? I can't remember his name. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember, but pretty much like the guy that, you know, her senpai, like their relationship takes not a huge tragic turn, but you could definitely tell from when they stop being friends to kind of being more honest about their feelings for each other, and kind of like how that's in a way quote unquote affecting everyone. And there's like even more developments like with her family and certain characters falling for other people. It's crazy. So I hope that gets to season 3. If not, I am, like, still reading the manga, but I really hope that gets to season 3. I would love to see it animate, seeing, like, their relationship bloom more from being just friends. Ooh, this is this is an older anime that I don't know why, I randomly just started watching, and then I watched both seasons in, like, a couple of days. This is Magic Knight Ray Earth, season 1 and season 2. It's a very old isekai anime where these 3 girls from 3 different schools gets transported through this world, and they were summoned there to be magic knights to save it from what they believe is from that world's like grand priest or whatever his title was, that kidnapped the princess who was supposed to like help keep the balance of the world, and now like demons and monsters are roaming the land and everything's crumbling, so now they need to do what they can to reset the world. And I won't spoil because that's a huge spoil, but there's a huge like plot twist at the end that really affects the girls, and then when they get sent back to their world, it really holds over them of like what they had to do. And then they, you know, at this point they think their mission's over, when bada bing bada boom they get sent back there and find out that the situation hasn't changed. If anything, it's gotten worse. Now they're like being invaded by other like lands and kingdoms that wants to benefit off the chaos of them not having, I think it's like a pillar that the person is called that's supposed to maintain like the balance of the world. Like now that they don't have that pillar, like their world is crumbling and they don't know what to do. And one of the things that I think what caught me is because I saw on YouTube that apparently there was like an updated remake that was announced at like some anniversary like a couple of months ago. Like basically new artwork. Not sure if they were gonna be like one to one with the like following the story to the manga, but because I did actually read the manga and whoa, let me tell you, I would say up to actually season one, it's pretty much almost like a kind of like page to page what happens. Like there are some additional stuff that they added into the anime, of course, like extra scenes, extra fights, extra things that didn't happen in the manga that they put in the anime. But I would say that's like a pretty close adaptation. Season two though is like totally different from what happens in the manga. So I could definitely see them kind of doing like a fruits basket of them redoing the story, but doing it from like the main source material. I mean, at this point, it's been done for years, so there'd be no reason to change up the story. But it would be interesting because how the anime ends and how the manga ends is totally different. And I think it'd be interesting to see that play out instead, anime wise. So I did watch Magic Knight Ray Earth, and I do hope that uh, new anime adaptation that they were thinking about is something that's in the works. I would love to see a new updated anime adaptation of that, and kind of see and seeing them doing from like word from word, story to story, how the manga did it. What else did I watch? Oh, I watched Mashal, Magic and Muscle season 1 and season 2. I hope they do a season 3 because where season 2 ended definitely left me with a cliffhanger like, okay, like this is how it ends, but there's so much more going on in the background. So much things that didn't get resolved that there has to be a season 3. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Speaking of season 3, I did, well, not this, but I did watch a season 2 of Soul Leveling. Yo, that season 2 that was insane. That was so good. Just all the fight scenes and all the major events that happened, like, I couldn't believe some of the things that happened. I mean, I read the manhwa a while back, so I totally forgot, like, major points that happened at this point. So I was like, yo, I forgot this happened. And then seeing it animated was just totally different. So I'm all here for it. I can't wait for them to I think they're working on season 3. We didn't get like any official announcement, but with how hyped season 2 was and all like the recognition, I think like it won a bunch of like Crunchyroll awards at the time too. They're definitely doing a season 3. There's no way they're ending the series like that. Just, or it might be at least like maybe, cause I don't know what the gap. But no, I think once season 1 was done, they like immediately announced they were doing season 2. So maybe they just need a minute and then they'll do season 3. But Soul Leveling season 2, caught up with that. Ooh, I finally watched the Collar X Malice movies. The two, not really sequel, but kind of like side story movies that they did. They were very interesting. I just, I mean, I was such a huge fan of this. When I was watching a playthrough of someone, there was this YouTube channel. I don't think she's posted in a while. She tried coming back and then like things happened and she and then like had to stop again. I don't know if she came back and started posting again. Why can't I? You know what? I'll just type in Collar X Malice, and I think her playthrough should pop up. But the movie was interesting. It was definitely animated beautifully. I would definitely say that. But when I heard they were doing a Collar X Malice adaptation, I thought they were going to do it from like a game point of view. Like how they did Code Realize. I thought they were gonna do it like that and like pick a route and do it from there. So I was like, so when I heard there was gonna be movies, I was like, yeah, okay. But then when I heard it was gonna be totally different from like anything in the main story, I was like, you've gotta be shitting me. Yeah, her last update was 10 months ago, and it was an audio log update. Working on coming back amongst other things. Like, she came back at one point, started posting another Otome game playthrough, and then, I mean, I get it, because, let me tell you, as someone who's had issues coming back, I totally get it. But, yeah, her name is Darilli, and that's where I kind of got into Caller X Malice through her playthroughs of the different routes. And it got me so hyped. So when I heard that they were making an anime adaptation, I was like, yes, I would love for them to do an anime adaptation of this. And I was like, if they do this, they need to do it based off the Yanagi route, because one, his route is longer, so it'd make more sense to do an anime adaptation off of that, kind of like what they did Code Realize. And I think quote unquote he's supposed to be like the main guy that you kind of go for. But you know how these, from what I'm understanding, these Otome games, at least the ones like that, there's like a quote unquote main guy that you kind of go for, but his route is locked. So you kind of have to go through the other routes of the guys to unlock his. I know Code Realize, from what I've heard, the game is like that. So you go through like routes of the other boys, and then you unlock Lupin's, and you know, of course you get different endings, but theirs is more flushed out and kind of, I guess you can say, kind of like the main story, and then the other ones are like alternative stories that could happen if you found love with this guy instead, or if you fell for this guy. And that's kind of what Caller X Malice did. Like, you know, we have our main character, and you know, there's a different guy, and depending on what guy you go for, you get a different ending. But Yanagi's was a bit more flushed out. You kind of went through the story more, you got more plot points, which I guess makes sense, because from my remembering, you know, each guy kind of went through a different case, but Yanagi was doing the entire incident as a whole. So it'd make more sense that his was a bit more flushed out, because at that point, instead of just solving one case, you're kind of solving the overall mystery, which makes sense. But I really enjoyed her playthrough of his route. I've listened to it 100 times, and I was like, oh, I'm like, if they do an anime, they need to do it off of his route. I would die if they did that. So when I heard they did this anime adaptation, I was like, oh, yes. I was like, are they gonna do it? I was like, did I call it? Are they gonna do it based off his route? I was like, I am watching that bi-weekly. I don't care if the dub hasn't come out yet. I am watching that. To my surprise, it's instead a two-part movie that has nothing to do with the main story of the games. It's like a side story. And I don't even think it's a side story in the games. I think it's just like original storyline that they made up that in a way works with what happens. I'm like, why would you do this to me? I was like, please, why can't you just make it an anime series like they did Code Realize and do it off of Yanagi's route? I would love that. And if anything, and I haven't played the games personally myself because I think it's on like Nintendo Switch, and I don't have a Switch. That's one of the things I'm like planning to get for myself. Once my that's another thing, my job, I got good news on that. I mean, I already had good news. They pretty much said it was like a done deal, but I had to do like verification, you know, showing documentation of everything, that everything I showed was legit, you know, and whatnot. They're like, okay, so you're all set. They're sending out the equipment like a week before the training starts, so you'll get an email about that. Oh, okay. Not someone's just texting me. Um, what was I saying? Oh, um, and then they were like, okay, so yeah, so you know, we won't really hear anything until like the week before. Yeah, that's when we're sending out like the schedule of when the training starts, and that's when you'll get the equipment. So I was like, okay, no problem. I mean, I already kind of set up, just waiting for that. I was just like, oh, that was one of the things that really got me upset. I'm gonna put an order in. Actually, give me a sec. Let me do this, and then I'll get right back. So, give me like 5 minutes. Sorry about that. What's the thing? Oh, well, let me turn down the music too. Kind of loud. But, yeah. So, I didn't hate the movies, the Color X Malice 2 movies. I thought they were pretty good. The animation's really good. I like how they drew everyone, especially. I mean, I guess that's the point, especially the guys, since they kind of are like the main focus. You know, since in the game you do end up working with one of them individually and end up falling for them. So I'm just so disappointed in how they did it. I would loved if they did it the way I thought they were going to do it. Maybe down the line, hopefully, maybe someone will do it like that. I would love if they did, but I'm not holding my breath. If anything, I'll just wait till I'll get a Switch and I'll play the game myself so I can relive it like that. I'll relive it like that. Oh yeah, I was saying that's another thing. With my job, once that's all sorted out, I'm definitely starting to put some money aside because one, I need a new chair because the chair I'm sitting on, does what it needs to, but it's definitely not comfortable. So I definitely need a new, office or a gaming chair. I'm definitely buying me a Switch because there are some games I want to play for stream, but are on the Nintendo, and yeah, I don't have a Switch. I'm not sure if I'll get because the Switch 2 is a lot. And they say you can play the same games. I believe they say you can play the same games from the Switch to the Switch 2, just with like better graphics and whatnot. I'll see. Because if anything, I can always just get the first one and then always transfer over to the next game. Because people had the Switch. Switch's been around for years. So, but I've been wanting to get a Switch for a while. So, that's one of the things that's definitely I'm hoping, I'm not hoping that I'm gonna be saving up for. Getting me a Switch and getting me an office chair, because, like I said, sitting on this one is not that good. At least not for long periods. But what else? We watched My Next Life as a Villainess, All Routes Lead to Doom, Season 1 and Season 2. I'd be really intrigued if they did a Season 3 for this. I don't know what. Maybe it could just continue on, especially since we did get more development in Season 2. But I don't know, it'd be interesting, and what Season 3 would be like. Oh, I did watch this. I really hope we don't have to wait so long for a Season 3 for this one. Our Last Crusade, or The Rise of a New World, Season 2. I watched it. It was so good. I loved Season 1. It did take me a while to get used to the new anime style that they did for this season. But I enjoyed it. I was watching it weekly as it was coming out, even after they did that whole break. After episode 5, and they were gone for months, and then they came back and did the rest of the episodes. But how season 2 ended, there definitely needs to be a season 3. I can't wait. I hope we don't have to wait too long for a season 3 for that. That was so good. Oh, I've seen first part of Sakamoto Days. I haven't caught up with what's currently out now. I think I'm kind of waiting for that to fully finish, but I thoroughly enjoyed the first part. First 11 episodes are really good. So, definitely can look forward to the next part. What else? I don't know if I said this. I've watched Windbreaker Season 2. Oh, I guess another one. I can't wait for Season 3. Because where Season 2 ended, I feel like I'm saying that a lot. But where this season ended, where we got more information about pretty much who's going to be the main antagonist for Season 3. Oh, I'm ready. Oh, yeah. And I think I said this before, but they did say that they were doing the final season for Tokyo Revengers, that they were going to do like that final arc and what's going to be happening in the anime. What's been happening in the manga, they're finally going to animate it. So I'm definitely interested in what that's going to be about. I haven't been 100% spoiled, but I do know there's going to be some wild things that happen in that final arc. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. Not sure if they're ever going to dub Season 3 of Tokyo Revengers. Because they never did it. They dubbed the first 2 seasons, and then the third season's been out for a while, and I think it's like Disney has the licensing for it, and because I think it was on like Disney Plus at one point, or is it still on Disney Plus? And they just never did the dub for it, which is totally crazy for a show as violent as Tokyo Avenger is. Because I mean, there are people dying in this show like every couple episodes. Um, I'm surprised that Disney wanted the licensing for it. And I guess the third season was way too graphic for them because there were a lot of deaths that happened in season 3. Um, because I've watched it already, but there was so much like deaths and plot twists in season 3. So I guess that's why they don't want to do a dub for it. But it's like, come on. How do you dub the first 2 seasons, but then you don't dub the third season? And then if they do season 4 and they dub that, so it's like, so why did you skip season 3? Doesn't make any sense. Let's see, what else have I watched? Ooh, I finally saw the Sasuke and Miyano graduation arc movie. That movie was so sweet. Oh my god, it was so cute. I already love the anime. So when I saw there was like a final movie to kind of like wrap up, Sasuke, since was his final year in high school, him and Miyano's relationship kind of blooming, and kind of like what they'll be doing at this point, since they won't be in the same school anymore, Sasuke will be out in college. Miyano will still have 1 more year, I think so. I think he's supposed to be a second year, and Sasuke is supposed to be a third year. Or no, wait. I think at the beginning of the anime, he's a first year, he's a second year, and then by the time the story ends, Sasuke's in his third year, Miyano's in his second year. And then when the movie ends, he's in his final year, and then Miyano would be moving on to be a third year. I believe so. It's been a minute since I've watched the anime. I want to say that's how it starts, with him, where Miyano's is the first year, Sasuke's the second, and ends with him, being in the graduating year, and Miyano moving up a grade. I was like, I don't think they're that far apart. I don't think they're 2 years apart. I want to say they're at least like a year apart. Would you would think they would be maybe 2 years because of their height difference? Sasuke is like a really tall guy, and I would say Miyano's like maybe the height of a girl. Like, I don't know, maybe height at Japanese girl height. I don't know. He is pretty small and short, but he's cute. He's adorable. And the anime is just so cute. I love it so much. But I did watch the movie for that. I can't wait. I mean, I can't wait. I don't think there's anything else. It'd be crazy if something came after. Like, maybe like an OVA of what happens when they reunite with Sasuke in college and Miyano in his final year of high school. Or maybe it'll skip to when they're adults. Both are out of school. Or maybe Miyano's in college and maybe he's graduated college and he's working at that point. Oh, that'd be so cool. I would love that. Yeah, OVA or maybe a movie? That'd be sick. I would love that. What else have I watched? Oh, I have to rewatch this if I'm going to do the podcast episodes. But I did watch, Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life? I did watch that before, everything happened. I had to go on break, for the podcast episodes. It was that in the first season of Immortal King, I think it's called. I'm blanking. But I did have, like, everything set up for those episodes. I definitely just need to go back and rewatch them, because I don't remember. It's been a minute. But I did watch that. So I definitely need to go back and rewatch it. Oh, I mean, I think this is true. I hope it's true. This is another villainous isekai anime that I watched. I heard it's supposed to be getting a season 2. I hope that's true. The most heretical last boss queen from villainous to savior. I thought I saw on Twitter that this was supposed to be getting a season 2. I really did enjoy this anime, so I would love to see you get a season 2. Another isekai watch, which was pretty cute. A journey through another world, raising kids while adventuring. Another isekai where a guy dies in the real world, gets reincarnated, gets blessed by, I think the first one he gets blessed by is the wind god. And he's like, hey, I kind of got like a special something I need you to do while you're in that world. Gets sent to like this really dangerous force. But of course, he's already kind of overpowered, even at the low level he's at. But ends up running to these twins, a boy and a girl with blue hair and yellow eyes. And they are in this forest. But, he's already been told, like, this forest is really dangerous. There's monsters crawling around. It's very easy to get killed in here. So when he sees these two kids, like, roughed up, the claws are torn, and he's like, what would two little kids be doing here? Takes them under his wing and, just ensue for kind of pretty much being their guardian, teaching them stuff, learning that they aren't just normal kids. Learning that they are kind of connected to one of the gods and kind of got, in a way, set up to look after these kids. But, ends up forming like a really close bond with them. He really loves them and they really love him. So it's really cute. I love it. So that's another anime I watched. It's really cute. Definitely, me, even though it's one of those isekai animes, I think that those are kind of interesting when it's one where the guy gets, or the person gets transported into the world and has to take care of like some super mystical kid of like a god or a deity or for whatever reason, and just seeing that close bond of them, it's so cute. I love it. It was a while back. The Prince of Tennis U17 World Cup semifinal. Watched that a while ago. Haven't heard any updates about that. Also, there was supposed to be a dub for the second season of the Seven Deadly Sins, Four Nights of the Apocalypse, and still haven't gotten it. I've already watched it from the sub. I would love to watch it in the dub, because there was a lot that happened, and I believe the manga is still ongoing, because I see people doing reviews of like the latest chapters and whatnot. So I would love for this to come back. I'm trying to see, what else have I watched? I'm trying to think. I'll say, for the most part, me rewatching Detective Conan has taken a big toll. Because, one, Detective Conan is insanely large. There's so many episodes. I did hear there's supposed to be a season 2 of the new Ranma. I can't wait. I think that's supposed to be coming out soon, too. I hope so. That'd be so cool. Oh, wait, there is something. I haven't watched. It's not something I watched. It's something I read. I don't know if I ever talked about this, but I'm a huge fan of the Fuji Yuji anime. You know what? I can't even say the word. Goodness gracious. Let me see if I can pull it up. It should be over on YouTube. Yeah, this one. Where is it? This one. Yeah, Fuji Yuji. I watched this anime way back in the day. Basically, a girl named Miyaka Yuki ends up finding this book called The Universe of the Four Gods, gets and her friend Yui get dragged into it, and she ends up becoming the priestess of Suzaku. With it, she needs to find the other Suzaku warriors so that she can summon Suzaku and get her wishes granted and possibly save the world of Hokan, I think is the kingdom that serves under Suzaku. But when you learn more in the story, you find out that Miyaka isn't actually the first girl to be drawn into this book and become a priestess. Turns out there were two other girls previously who went through similar scenarios. There was the priestess of Genbu and the priestess of Byakuya. Um, finding out that Miyaka is actually the third girl to be drawn into the book to become a priestess, and later on finding out that Yui ends up being drawn, becoming the final priestess of Seiryu, right? Seiryu? Yeah. And this whole things, and it just so much mix and turns and love triangles and betrayal and death. It's this anime is so good. But when I first watched this, I was like, oh, it'd be so cool if I could go back and watch the. I don't know, at this point I didn't know there wasn't an anime adaptation. But when they talked about, oh, there was actually two previous priestesses of two other celestial gods, I was like, oh, where's the anime about those? I want to see those. Turns out there was never an anime adaptation for them. And I never found the manga or a story for them, so I was like, that's odd. I mean, they talk about them and they're like introduced into the story, because at one point we do meet like former celestial warriors of Genbu and the ones of Byakuya, so the ones that are still alive at this point. Well, yeah, I'll just say that. That's when they get more information about what happened to those priestesses and kind of how their story ended, and kind of what could happen with Miyaka and her celestial warriors, especially the one she ends up falling in love with, because that's kind of like a trope. Not really a trope, but it's something that happens. Each priestess ends up falling in love with one of the warriors. Um, I forget how to say her name. Takito? I think that's the first girl who was the very first priestess and was the priestess of Genbu. Oh my, okay, before I get into it. Like I said, I didn't see there was an anime, and I didn't know at the time that there was a manga for it, but I looked and I couldn't really find anything. So I was just like, I mean, it'd be so cool to know what the previous stories of those other girls were like what they went through. How did they, summon the gods? How did those stories turn out? And just recently, I found, that's when I knew that there actually were mangas based off of the other two girls. The Priestess of Genbu and the Priestess of Byakuya. So I was like, oh, hell yeah, I can finally, it's not an anime, but I would definitely 100% read this. I want to know what happens in those stories, before we get to Miyaka and Yui, their journeys of being the priestess of Suzaku and Seiryu. Especially since those other two girls, their stories are separate. They aren't intertwined like Miyaka's and Yui's. So I wanted to know what happened. So I read the first one that was based off of, I think that's her name, Takito, the priestess of Genbu, and what happened in her story. Oh my god, I have never cried so much reading a manga in so long. I was crying basically every freaking chapter after a certain point, because that story is so sad and tragic. Oh my god. Like, I was just so, like, it really hit me what happened in that. And the fact that they kind of got a happy ending, but at such a cost. And what happened, like, oh my, I can't even, I don't want to go into spoilers, because just like what happens and the twists and turns and, what she had to go through to becoming the priestess of Genbu, and once the truth is found out, what happens to the priestess, what her warriors were like willing to sacrifice, they were like, we know, like, they went through the journey of, collecting the warriors, going through all this sacrifice, having people die, to ensure that they were able to do this prophecy of summoning Genbu, and just ooh, excuse me, give me a minute, let me drink some water. Sorry about that. What is it? Oh, right. Yeah, just all the twists and turns and all the sacrifices that were made for them to summon Genbu, and kind of like once they found out what happened, especially the celestial warrior that she ends up falling in love with, and kind of like, oh, their story it's so tragic, but it like I remember watching something that kind of went through that, each one of the girls, their story tells like a different, has like a very certain like message behind it. So like there was a reason why her story ended up the way it did. It was just, oh, but it was just so tragic. It was just like, oh my god. When I watched the first Fujuji, and seeing the story of Miyaka and the celestial warrior she ends up falling in love with, and their whole journey of trying to be together, and eventually hearing rumors of what happened to the previous priestess and the warrior they ended up falling in love with, and kind of having this tragic love story, and wanting to defy fate so that they could be together. So hearing that, and then actually reading what happened to the first priestess. Oh, like I told you, I was crying because I was just like, oh my god. Like, I heard that it's not like everything worked out and it was a happily ever after. Like, no, like that's her story, her journey was so sad, so tragic, so much death and destruction, and just it was just so much going on. It was so tragic, but there were like moments where like it couldn't be helped, like, and the fact that they were willing to go through so much to protect her, but she had to make the sacrifice to not only save the people that she eventually came to love, and the man she came to love, but the place that they called home, you know and it just how it ended was so tragic. It was just it broke my heart. I had to take a minute before I read the second one. I'm like, I swear if this one ends up just as sad, I'm gonna lose my mind. I can't. And I started reading it, and there were even times when they would reference her, because I mean, at that point, they were like, "Oh, it's been like over 100 years since the priestess of, Genbu summoned Genbu." And kind of what happened with her celestial warriors, and we get a snippet of, what life was like for them after the events of, their journey. And even though, everything kind of worked out for them, it came at such a huge cost. Um, and when someone did something that kind of triggered, not really her, but like an image of her to come back, like, and then seeing them break down, even though it wasn't really her, but like seeing her there in front of them, her like reaching out to them, reacting to them, it had me in tears. It just showed how much they all loved her, especially the one that she fell in love with. The one that really loved her was willing to risk it all to keep her safe, even for a little bit longer. And it was just so sad. um and I haven't finished the Byakuya one, but that one is very interesting too. It did happen. Wasn't going the way I thought. Because once she first gets introduced into the world, she's a little kid. But then she, kind of like what happens with Miyaka and what happens with the other girl, it turns out too, that there are moments when they get sent back to their world, and they eventually, make the decision of, I want to be there. I have to be there. It's my destiny. I'm drawn to that world, or like drawn to the book for a reason. I have to do this. And and of course at that point they've already kind of have someone that they are developing love for, that they, don't want to be apart from, even if eventually they will be torn apart in a different way. They want to be by that person's side, be by their friend's side. And it's crazy because the guy I thought, was the one that she eventually ends up falling for wasn't even a celestial warrior. He was the brother of a celestial warrior. Um, because I had seen what he looked like in the original anime. So when I saw him, I'm like, oh, okay, that must be him, the one that she, fell for. But then when they said, when it turns out he wasn't the warrior, I was like, wait, what? And then when the other one popped up with the names that I've heard was the one that she ended up falling in love with, I was like, wait, no way, it was him instead? I was like, that's crazy. I don't know, that one, I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it. It's really good. It's really good. What I hate is kind of, at least with the Byakuya one, because I'm kind of going into details, but, at this point, it's been years since she's been in the book. For them, it's only been like a couple of days, but, that whole time thing for them is so flipped, because at one point, Miyaka goes back, and it's only been like maybe a day or two for her, but when she goes back, it's been like 3 months in their time. So she's like, what? Which makes sense because when she was first in there before she got out, she was there for weeks, maybe even months. So when she gets back, she's like, oh my god, it's been months since I've seen everyone. And they're looking at her like, girl, we saw you like an hour ago. What are you talking about? And she's like, wait, what? She's like, I had no idea time was flowing that differently between our two worlds, between the world of the book and the real world. But it does happen because, for at least in the Byakuya one, when she first gets introduced to the world and gets sent back, she was a kid. But when she gets sent back, she is older, like a teenager. But in the world of the book, only a couple of days had passed from when they first met her. So, when she gets back and they see her all grown up, they're like, what happened? We saw you like days ago. How did you grow this fast? And she's like, what do you mean? It's been years since I've been back. And they're like, no, you were gone for like maybe 5 or 7 days. And they're like, she's like, wow, I had no idea time was flowing that differently between our, two different worlds. But, at that point, she's kind of been secretly drawn to the book, drawn to the characters, drawn to the one I thought was the one she was falling for. Um, but then in her world, the family that she ends up being adopted into, because that's a whole nother thing that happens. But she gets adopted into a family of like a family friend, after a huge tragedy. And I don't think he's the son of one of the. I think he's like a family friend who's known her for years and has like kept an eye on her. I think, or maybe he's like a mentor or the apprentice of her adopted father. But has like been by her side for years, and I think he was like a soldier, but then came back and he was injured, and he like reveals that he's been in love with her for years. He wanted to be a better person, to give her a better life, and was doing all this in the hopes that he could, marry her and make her happy. And, she's, of course, at this point hesitant because she knows that she's secretly drawn to someone else, but at first isn't sure because of, people telling her, oh, like, the book is, it's not real, it's not this, you have a life here in this world, that's just a fake world. It can't really affect, pretty much trying to not get her drawn in so she doesn't suffer the same fate as the first girl, pretty much. But eventually she does get drawn back into the book. And I get it, he's a guy in love, he's been in love with her for years, and kind of seeing her slowly distance herself and him not fully understanding why. Of course he's a bit hesitant on being like, I don't understand, like, what is it that's drawing her away from me? Not knowing that in a way she's kind of already given her heart to someone, even if it's someone she might not get to be with long term, pretty much. But that's pretty much all that point. I would definitely like to read more. I just need to get my hands on the rest of it so I can read the rest and see what happens to the Byakuya warriors. And Susanoo, I think is her name. Yeah, so it's oops, excuse me, I dropped that. Where's the picture I took? Yeah, Takito Okuda, the priestess of Genbu. Suzuno Osuji, the priestess of Byaku. Miyaka Yuki, the priestess of Suzaku. And Yui Hojo, the priestess of Seiryu. Yep. So I read the manga based off the first girl. I'm reading the one based off the second girl. And I've already seen the anime that focuses on the last two girls. So, but that's pretty much what I've been doing. So I've just been reading certain mangas, reading certain animes, getting back into Detective Conan, and watching every new anime here and there, pretty much. What? Forgot that was still on. And actually, before we need to go. Where is it? Here. Oop, hold on. Let me fix myself. You know, and it's funny, I told myself I was probably only gonna go for like maybe an hour, hour and a half. And it's been like almost 2 hours. But before we go, let's do those reactions I was talking about. So that should take us a good like couple of minutes. So we'll do the the Resonator showcase of Ling Yang that I missed. Then I'll do the showcase and combat for the new character that's supposed to be coming out with that new update. We'll see Lupa's combat showcase, Karthathia's combat showcase. Maybe we'll save these for another day. Maybe tomorrow. But I do want to see the trailers for these, and then I think we'll call it a night. So let me click on that. Let me turn off that. Okay, hopefully that's playing. So we'll see this.
It's your first performance ever, Ling Yang. You ready for this? These poles are way taller than what we practiced on, and this one's for our troops. Can't afford to mess up.
Oh! That hurt.
On your feet, Ling Yang. Doubting yourself already?
Master,
Why did you become a lion dancer? It's time to think about it.
Humans. They confuse me. Hunt, run, hunt again. I act on instinct, like all animals do.
Alright.
All animals, except those bipeds. They keep doing extra things.
Bipeds? Instead of becoming humans?
Hey you! Hey! Wanna come play with us?
You're not scared of me?
Why scared of you? You don't look that different.
Aww.
The big lion's on our side. It's gonna scare off all the bad guys.
Aww.
How long has it been? Turns out, I already knew.
It's almost time for his solo. He'll make it.
Reporting in.
Okay.
The spirit of lion dance. It's about courage. Courage to crush any fear in its wake. The show is just beginning.
Yeah, he does fight with that thing sometimes.
Every step, every twirl, I know them all by heart. This costume is my second skin now.
That was cool.
I'll keep the spirit burning. Always have, always will.
Okay, that was nice. I actually got him not recently too, so it was interesting to see that. Alright, so
There was once
alright,
a
so this
rough-
is the new person that's supposed to be coming out soon. So Resonator Showcase Augusta. Sharp Blade.
There was once a rough lump of iron, dull, forsaken, buried in scorched soil, until freed from dirt and
Oh, is that her?
grime.
She was younger? Okay.
A sharp blade slumbered within, awaiting the trial of fire. Hammered
Ooh.
and pounded,
Okay, this is all order.
purged of impurity, thus its steely frame was formed. Now awakened, a blade cutting through all, yet it was honed to achieve more.
I said kill him. Oh my god.
It yearned not bloodshed or
I was like, what am I hearing? Oh
but to
my
carve
god.
a path none had walked before. Behind high walls, glory has long decayed.
What was that? Her family?
Even the victorious couldn't escape the sting of corruption. Yet, with unshakable resolve, the blade feared no storm or flame.
She is kicking butt.
Maelstroms engulfed its frame. Fire scorched its crossguard. Yet it rose above blood and sand, breaking every shackle.
Damn. No, this reminds me of this scene. Kind of like Saber from Fate.
Baptized in the dust of strife.
Or it looks like Archer's Noble Phantasm area.
To reignite glory. All for this moment.
Oh shit, she absorbed him? Whoa. Look at her sword now. Oh. Damn. Ooh.
Alas, the glorious crown favors no flesh.
That thing is big as hell.
From the heavens pours. Even the keenest steel is doomed to rust in the tempest.
Back she can wield that heavy ass thing? My god.
Blade shattered. Luster lost. No longer swift. No longer sharp. Dragged
Ooh.
down by its own weight. Heavy in hand. Blunt against foe.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh shit.
There was once a rough lump of iron, abandoned in mud and mire.
Damn.
Once a scrap ignored by all, now it's
She
time
kicked this
at the
thing's
throne.
ass.
The once rough iron is now the true ruler's sword.
Oh, that's cool.
And should the tide of fate stir once more, she will raise this sword and blaze through the night as the eternal sun.
That is cool. Definitely looking forward for when she comes out. Alright, so next is her combat showcase, so we can see her how she fights.
All the sun touches is ours to fight for.
Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh, it can break apart. Oh, what is that? Oh, is that an echo you can get? Oh, that's cool. Oh, it went kind of like how it was before. Ooh, damn. Oh, okay. Alright, I am totally here for it. Now I kind of want to see how the other girls showcase and her combat thing goes too. I was debating, I was like, damn, which one do I want?
Should the tide of fate stir once more,
Oh, getting this
she
again.
will raise this sword and blaze through the night as the eternal sun.
But that's cool that the big sword can kind of break apart into the little ones that it formed it. Okay, so this is Lupa's combat showcase.
You cold, warrior?
Oh, it changed her sword. Oh, okay.
What are your expectations for this match, Lupa?
There's only one, and that's to make it a fight to
I think it's fun she's fighting with that spear and it has a flag on it. Alright, so this is Cartadia's combat.
This sword shall follow your will.
You won't escape.
Purge the impure.
Man, yeah.
Revealed at last. Exonerate. Till the denouement. Chaos purified. Tides
it's funny she's a wind character, but all her attacks and whatnot are like water-based.
My blade. Purge all evil.
And it's funny, I heard someone comment on that. It looks like Excalibur from Saber from Fate. And I was like, I totally see it. Oh, I was like, what?
Your time has long passed.
Okay, so that's everyone's showcase, at least the ones I wanted to see. Now, we'll save that for another time. Let's go with the anime trailers, and then we'll end it from there. Yeah, so this is one of the ones I was talking about. I've seen the first, it's 2 seasons, I believe. And then we never heard anything about this anime again. So I just figured it was never going to get another season. But I did know the light novel it's based off of was still ongoing. That's how it is with a lot of stories like this. A lot of times they get like maybe 1 or 2 seasons, and then the rest you kind of got to get the rest of the story from like manga, if there is a manga, or the light novel. But The Sentence of a Bookworm, I actually really enjoyed when I watched it. So when I saw on Twitter that apparently there was going to be a new season for this, pretty much picking up where it left off after the last season, I was like, oh, I didn't think this anime was ever going to come back. So I was surprised. So this is the trailer for that new season. That's not supposed to become until spring of next year. So we got a whole year before this comes out.
魔力を持つ貴族が支配するエーレンフェスト。そこで彼女は決心する。
この世界に本がなければ作ればいい。これが印刷でございます。
君は一体
And even the anime even the anime style is looks whole new.
グーテンベルクです。
危険で有害だとされれば、君は処分される。君の安全を最優先にした結果だ。
自分の命と家族の命を守るために私頑張るよ。本好きの下克上、漁師の幼女。
本当に面倒くさいな、君は。
新館長の意地悪。
That was by Wit Studio. Like I said, they're doing this manga ending. People hate it. Almost, what was another anime that did that? I think Attack on Titan. Like, people were not feeling the ending at all. And then, like, the mangaka made, like, 2 different endings that people liked better. And I think that's what they did for with the anime. They went with one of the other endings. Or maybe they went with the original ending. And people, I guess, felt it fit better more in the anime on how it ended compared to the manga. I don't remember. But I do know Attack on Titan's ending a lot of people were not fans of. And I know it's the same with My Hero. I myself have not read it, so I have no idea what happens at the end. I have a few ideas from the few things people have said, but I haven't like physically read it myself to see what happens towards the end of the anime. But next will be the Demon Slayer Infinity Castle trailer. But I'm gonna tell you, this movie is going to be lit.
という言葉が何度も頭をよぎる。この長い
I'm ready, but I'm not ready.
かもしれない。いい夜だね。
I'm interested to see how he fights, and then this fight with him and Shinobu, I can't.
久しぶりだな。
And then this fight,
善逸
I can't. Oh, and I can't wait to hear the songs too. They're gonna be so good. And then this fight. Tanjiro versus Akaza? Yo! I mean, this has been in the making since the Mugen Train. Yeah, no, this movie's gonna be sick. Okay, this is the one I was talking about. That I think I read the manga for this randomly years ago. So this is the one I'm talking about. I'm surprised that it's getting an anime. A lot of ones that I read back in the day are like getting anime adaptations. There's this one called Betrothed to Something. I remember reading it a while back, and now that has an anime adaptation. So I'm just like, wow, I remember reading that. Don't remember anything about it, but I do remember reading it because it looks similar to something I read. But I think this is also another one of them. So let's see. May I ask for one final thing? Official trailer.
気に入らなかったその銀髪貴様は一生俺の奴隷として生きるんだ返り血を浴びて一人佇むその姿は恐ろしくも美しくついた二つ名が
今何とおっしゃいましたか
今この瞬間をもって貴様との婚約を破棄させてもらう
末永く幸せな夫婦になると誓いますわブワ
その命令は聞けませんジュリアス様は王家の血を引くお方ですお前はまだ17歳の娘なのだぞこのバカ者め
お前を殺すそうすることしか僕にはできない
どうだいっそ私の婚約者にならぬか
よくもこれまでの苦行を台無しにしてくれましたねだから全員ぶっ飛ばしても構いませんわね
Oh, I think this is. I did remember reading this. And she wails on him in the beginning after he breaks off the engagement. I think this is. Oh, that's so cool. This is getting an anime. And then Motoku Sensei Season 3. Yeah, pretty much picking up where season 2 ended. Who are you? I don't know what that says. Probably like a journal or something. Ooh, what? Interesting. I don't know what that was. Tensei Jobless Synchronization Season 3. Oh. Yeah, Eris. I think that's her name, Eris? Coming in 2026. Alright, so we won't get that till next year. I'm interested in how their reunion's going to be and whatever big bad is supposed to be happening. I think we got one more, which is the Black Clover Season 2 official trailer. Oh, I can't wait. I love Black Clover. Damn, 2017 is when when Black Clover started. and went through like all the big moments that happened and what year they did.
俺と悪い奴らぶっ倒そうぜ二人で
Studio period. Yo, this is sick. I guess this is a new form he'll have later on. I guess he has more control of his devil. Second season coming to Crunchyroll. Witness a new legend. Play high on life. Did you watch Cyberpunk again? No, I haven't actually. I've been planning to, and I've kind of already been spoiled on how it ends, but I still do want to watch it for myself. And I think, yeah, the rest of the other stuff, so we can skip all that for now. So let's... whoops. Forgot that was still up. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me. What trailers are there anymore? Just some more Weathering Waves trailers, some reactions I could do, like some try not to laugh. And then, this was the one I was thinking about doing. Oh, you guys can't see. By this YouTuber called J Daddy. He's been like blowing up. I've seen people reacting to his stuff a lot, so I think I'll save that for next time. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, I just kind of went through what I've been watching, what I've been reading, and did some more reactions, some more Weathering Wave. I missed one Weathering Wave character from the big watch through I did. And then they did release one of the new characters that's coming out for that new update. So we watched her showcase and her battle showcase, and then watched two other recently added characters showcase. Actually no, because one, it is like 2 a.m. my time, so I'm actually going to sleep after this. Next time we'll react to those J Daddy videos I've seen people react to, and then I don't know, we'll see if I'm feeling up to playing a game. Maybe we'll hop back into Persona. Watch out, there's a fire behind you. Yeah, be careful. But yeah, that's it for me. Like I said, it's like 2 a.m. my time, so I'm gonna head out. Thank you so much for everyone who came, whether you watched me over here on Twitch or on YouTube. Remember, I do simul stream on both, so you can check me out on either or. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm not sure what I'll do. I'll probably do that whole reaction in the beginning, and then maybe we'll hop back into some more Persona 4, or what other games do I have up? Or we could do something else, I don't know. We could do the Persona 4, just hop back into that, since we are kind of getting close to a new character in that, so we could just go back and doing that. But yeah, that's it for me. I hope everyone had a great night, day, evening, wherever you guys are. Stay safe, and until then, I'll see y'all next time. Night, everyone. Bye!